All right, you guys, now you're on to step number 3. In this phase of your party planning, you need to choose a date and time, and you need to choose a starting location and an ending location. So in regards to date and time, I usually find that it is easiest to get people to come to the party if you creep away from Halloween. Those last few weeks of October are full of fall festivals and ward parties and trick-or-treat stuff, and if you get close to those, although it's fun to be that close to Halloween, it gets hard for people to come. So I've found if I aim somewhere around the middle of October, my attendance goes way up. I really like to have it almost like between the 7th of October and the 14th even, because then I feel like I've got the last 2 weeks of October to actually spend with my family and relax. This party planning gets a little busy, and so it's nice to kind of have this done and out of the way by the middle of October. I usually do mine on a Saturday because I found it's really helpful to have that last Friday to kind of cram and finish everything up, and then have all day Saturday to prep. And then I really like it because on Sunday you go to church and everybody's talking about it. So I usually do mine on a Saturday, but Fridays are good too. For start times, we usually want to start late enough that the people who have jobs can get back to the starting location, but early enough that it's not dark when you start. If it's dark when it starts, it can kind of be tricky for people to understand what's going on. So usually we aim for about 6:30 or so. When it comes to your ending location and your starting location, there's some specifics here as well. So again, you're trying to be anonymous and you don't want to give them any clue as to who you are. But at the same time, I guess you want to give them a little bit of a clue. They need to know from the invitation that you are someone they know. If your starting location is, let's say, 30 minutes away from your house, they're not going to have any idea who sent them this crazy invitation to a witch party. So I usually like to pick a starting location that's sort of central to the people I'm inviting. So it might be at like a local high school parking lot, or maybe at a cool kind of out of the way park. A couple things you want to watch for. You want to make sure that there is ample parking at whatever your starting location is. Most couples will come to the party just as a couple, park their car, and then get in their team car and run the race. So you want to make sure that their cars can be safe wherever they are. The second thing you want to watch for is that it's kind of out of the way. You're going to hide some clues there, and you want to make sure that you're not in the middle of a busy street or at a place where a bunch of kids might mess with stuff. So sometimes we'll start at a park pavilion or something like that, but I'd pick a park that's not as popular so that it's out of the way a little bit. For your ending location, you have a couple options. If you're going to be anonymous, then you're going to want to pick a neutral location. If you want to conceal your identity even after the party, you're going to want to pick a neutral location, like maybe end at a restaurant. We've done that a couple times. Or maybe you could rent a hotel, lobby or convention room if you wanted to go that far. Or you can just host it at somebody else's house. When my mother-in-law first did a party kind of like this years and years ago, she actually did the refreshments part of the party at one of the attendees' houses. So they didn't even know when they got to their last clue and they open it, and it takes them to their own house. And then of course everyone thinks they're the witch, but it wasn't them. So you have all kinds of options, but you want to pick a place that again is relatively close to where their cars are, kind of central to everybody, and a place where you can easily set out food and refreshments and have them waiting for when you get back, because your team might not be the first team back to the ending location. So you want to make sure that your ending location is either at your house, somewhere you can protect, or at a pavilion or somewhere where you might have somebody help you keep an eye on things. So that's your next step. And then once you're there, we're going to move on to the invitation phase. All right, let's do it.